Good morning and welcome to the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living, the meditation time. I'm Ron. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here, and I'll be leading the meditation this morning. I am also the facilitator of the Consciousness Seekers on Monday nights, which is another opportunity to meditate, because we do meditation there as the start of the evening, and look together at the idea of self and consciousness and how we show up in that. So I do invite you to think about coming to that. There's nothing to do or prepare for it, just show up for it. You can quietly just listen in or participate if you want. So I encourage you to think about that. We're a small group, between 9 and 12, and it should be a fun evening for you. But today we're going to spend our time together just trying to focus on the mental activity of now. Really to allow our essential self to be the focal point of our awareness. To be, just to be. And we're going to come at this, I'm going to come at it from many different places of pointing. I'm going to continue to point at it, much like if you know Muji, much like his simplistic thinking, and see where that takes us today. So just breathe and allow yourself to sit here in the now. To rest with the natural feeling of awareness that is right here, now. You don't need to strain or apply any effort. Just with your eyes closed, if you will, allow yourself to look behind your eyelids. And just notice the darkness that is there, that vast emptiness before you. Take a breath or two and notice that. Just notice the vastness there. And now if you'll allow yourself, just go into that space. You don't need to visualize yourself there. Just sense yourself in that space. It's a field of being. And it's filled with nothing but space and your own sense of it. And if there are some thought energies there, some mind conversations, that's really okay. Let that be. Don't try to expel anything, resist or push anything away. Thoughts can't stay without extreme effort. They must move. So just breathe and do the easiest thing. Remain passive, detached. The thoughts will come, and then they will go. For certain, they will go if you do not interfere with them. When we're in this space of self, we observe rather than interact. If the idea arises, don't engage it, don't develop it. Just let it come in and let it leave, and it will simply evaporate on its own. You see, you're not then managing your existence. You're simply being existent. You just are. And it's also not important to hold any kind of self-image, personhood, mind-body image. No word story, no visual image of yourself. It's not needed. You are here. It's enough. There's a completeness in that you are here. Here is not you and your mind. Sure, there's mental activity going on, an energy that dances inside your awareness, but also you can simply rest in your own natural, self-aware state existing in this moment. So breathe and notice that. Try to catch that. I know the mind loves to be here. And in the beginning, as we relax, it wants to express itself. It wants to be in the forefront, take a major role, have all the dialogue. It's trying to occupy the you of you, wrap you up in active mind. It wants to introduce ideas that we're used to, ideas of, images of, memories of, sensations of, perceptions of, opinions of. It wants to bring that to the forefront. Busy, busy, busy. Keeping you doing rather than being. But now is now. It's all we can actually experience. The rest is just memory or prediction. Now is here, and it's just fine, exactly as it is. Breathe, rest, allow. Allow those thoughts and images that mind wants you to take up, just allow them to come in like the clouds in the sky and float away on their own. You observe. You rest. Just take a few moments now to be. And with repeated experience, mind will naturally settle down beautifully in harmony with your own self. This timeless now, this is our safe space, our true place. Because harmony is the way of life. It is the truth. And here you can feel how expansive your own being is, naturally, without desire. You see, because desire pulls your attention into some shape, some mind play of words or images. So simply remain shapeless. It's very helpful words. Remain shapeless. No need for thoughts to take form. So at the same time you feel and know intrinsically, intuitively, you know how well you are in this now moment. Because in beingness, you are perfectly well. You're perfectly well. Notice, check this out. You require nothing at this moment. No need to enter into anything, to do anything, to undo anything. Right now, whole, complete, just as you are. Be the being. Be the being. It's here you find true stability and constancy, because to be should not be effortful. It should be by nature effortless. It's what is found between experience, before all activity, all the doingness. The essential self is constantly there, awaiting your awareness of it. The whole field of being is on your side. And everything needed is here to support your harmony, your full awakening. And don't doubt this. Don't doubt it. We're not here constructing a new idea or conjuring up some new outlandish way. We are only clarifying what is already so, what is there constantly. We cannot help awareness. You can only be the awareness itself. This stillness is a place of self-discovery. This is a place where you will know that you cannot be separate from the life that is living you. So find the power in you to observe. And as you detach, it'll grow beautifully for you. And your life won't feel so crowded, even if you have lots of responsibilities outwardly. Going to the self will bring harmony and a sense of spaciousness for you. This resting in oneness informs all aspects of your life with ease and with grace. And it is the one constant, the part of you that never comes and goes when thoughts come and go. This you never comes and goes. And it can be found absolutely resting and waiting there for you in the now. And so it is. So now if you haven't, begin to bring yourself out of that truest of states, bring yourself back into this place, this space, but taking control of your breath, breathing in and out and moving about a bit. And when you're ready and when you decide, just release yourself back into the room by opening your eyes. Namaste.
morning.
It's all good.
Take 15.
For real this time. Pretend this didn't happen.
Hey, Bishop.
People out there in internet land, we begin now. I'm bad at being in love, and I'm bad at being alone. Lost when I find myself without somebody's arms to call home. I need someone to make me feel valued, but it feels like I'm never enough. I wander the world half empty, hoping someone will just fill my cup. Oh, I'm perfect and broken, the sands within the pearl. Hopeful and hopeless, a messed up, beautiful girl. The laughter, the weeping, the stillness and the storm. I'm perfect and broken. Learning to bend with the wind, not let the wind knock me down. Determined to stand in the wildest squalls, hands in the heavens, feet on the ground, 'cause I barely tapped into my strength. It's been locked up in anger and strife, but I am beauty and beast, I am famine and feast, and the love I've been searching for all of my life. Oh, I'm perfect and broken, the sand within the pearl. Hopeful and hopeless, messed up, beautiful girl. The laughter, the weeping, stillness and the storm. I'm perfect and broken. I'm perfect and broken, the sand within the pearl. Hopeful and hopeless and messed up, beautiful girl. After the weeping, stillness and the storm. I'm perfect and broken. I'm perfect and broken. I'm perfect and broken.
Wow, way to go. Once you got started, you're not half bad. Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's so wonderful to see people in the audience. Wonderful. And it's wonderful to see you out there in Zoom land or Love Stream land or wherever it is you're tuning in. I want to welcome everybody. And if you're new to the center, I'll introduce myself. I'm Pat Campbell. I'm sorry. Pat Patterson or something that Rosaire had me in his phone, and I called him while I was there, and it said Pat Parkinson, and I said, "Who's Pat Parkinson?" He says, "You," and I said, "I introduce myself every Sunday without fail." Anyway, you can tell what kind of a day it's going to be today. Anyone, welcome. I'm Pat Campbell. I'm the spiritual director of the center. And if you haven't been to a Center for Spiritual Living, there's a few things you need to know. We are a faith tradition that honors all faith traditions. We understand that there are as many paths to understanding as there are people on this planet. So there can't be just one way of believing, one way of thinking that doesn't make sense in a limitless universe. We are all part of the one, but we are all individual expressions of the one. So wherever you are on your path, you are welcome here. We're so happy you decided to spend your Sunday with us today. And we're going to start out by singing one of my favorite conch songs. We haven't done this one for a little while. So a funny thing happened on the way to going to BC. The entire province basically got flooded. I'm being a little sarcastic, but not completely. It's a pretty serious situation. So when we sing this song, I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I'm going to invite you to have in your mind the people who are in BC and Washington and Oregon. I mean, this was a pretty major event. Send your love, send your energy, send your thoughts to them. There's some stuff going on in the States right now, too, that is just taking the divisiveness and making it even worse. So if that calls to you, then I invite you to send your love and your energy down there as well. So those of you in the audience, stand up if you'd like to sing with us, and at home, too.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me.
So our BC friends, we know some of you are watching. You have our love, you have our peace, you have our joy, and every place else as well. And so it is. And so it is. All righty. So I have some things to tell you. Am I forgetting something? No, I don't think so. Okay. This is the last time I'm going to make this announcement, and it doesn't apply to you all because you're here. But it does apply to you all because you might want to come here, and guess what? You'd be welcome. We are open to in-person service now. We are following the AHS guidelines, so masking is required. And if you could see everybody here, they're on your masks. In fact, people in the audience, turn around and wave at the live stream people. You can see George Clooney up there, and that's where they're hiding. Okay, so we see you. We're happy you're there. So anyway, masking is required. Social distancing, so we've got the seating set apart. We're not doing hugging. I mean, if you hug and another person says they want to hug, that's fine. But if somebody says, no, I'm not hugging, we honor that, we respect that, because everybody's in different places in their comfort level. We're also not having like tea and social hour after that, but we are here. You get to hear the band live, and you know how good that is. And so if that's calling to you, come on down. Meditation starts at 10. The Sunday service celebration starts at 10:30. And we've still got room. We've still got room for you. We can take about 50 people in here, so we've still got room. If you're feeling like you want to come down and check it out, you are more than welcome to be here. So our Pelly, you all know Pelly, our darling Pelly, who moved to her home country of Eswatini, also known as Swaziland, wants to tell some of her stories about how she made that decision to move back to Eswatini and what she's doing and how she's bringing spirituality there. Not in a, I'm trying to convert you sort of a way, but just, hey, here's how I'm showing up in my home country. It is on December 11th at 10 a.m. via Zoom, and we're asking for a $20 love donation. I haven't yet worked out, the logistics of you sending the money. So just mark it in your calendar, and by next week we'll know how you can actually register for that and get the Zoom information so that you can attend that either from home, well, actually from home. We won't be having it here. But this is Pelly, and she's so lovely, so she's going to be telling some wonderful stories about that. This is our biggest fundraiser that we haven't done in about 3 years, 2.5 years anywhere, and that's where we work a casino. Those of you who are not familiar with this thing, it's actually super cool. Nonprofits work a casino for 2 days, and as a result, they also receive some of the proceeds from the quarter that they worked. This is something that has worked out with the province of Alberta, and it's something that we do whenever we have the opportunity, because it raises quite a bit of money. And we need volunteers for that. Specifically, right now, we are looking for somebody who is a general manager. That says manger, but I don't know how to spell, obviously. General manager, banker, supervisor, and cashiers. So those roles we need to know about right away, because we're going to send the information into AGLC. The other things like chip runner and money counters and that we can fill in a little bit closer. The dates are March 20th and March 30th and March 31st. And we're at a new place this year. We're at Deerfoot Casino. We usually were at Cash Casino. Not that I know where all the casinos are, but Deerfoot is south as opposed to right next door. Anyway, if you would like to do this, please email me at info@calgarycsl.org and let us know that you'd like to fulfill one of those. Those are kind of key positions, and we'll be in touch with more information about that. Okay, what's next? Spiritual Living Convention is in January down in Palm Springs. Who doesn't want to go to Palm Springs in January? Woohoo! This is our annual convention. We haven't been together actually for 2 years as an organization. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Excellent speakers, musicians. Amy and Lisa are both going to be there. I know, it's so exciting. And just great, great speakers. So if you want more information about that, I've checked the flights. You can still get a flight for less than $500. So that's just to let you know, and that's 500 Canadian. So go to spiritualconvention.csl.org and get yourself registered. The hotel is selling super, super fast. So if you're thinking about doing that, get registered right away for that. Our consciousness seekers, these are our ongoing groups. Consciousness seekers, as Ron talked about today during his meditation. Monday evenings, there's no prep for it or anything. You can just show up and have Ron does a deep dive. There's nothing surface. He goes right down into it, but puts it in a way that's it's understandable and makes for great discussion. That's Mondays at 7. Coffee with Dr. Pat. it's just fun. We just come together. We're a group of people that just miss each other and miss being in community. So we meet on Wednesdays at noon. Everybody's welcome to that. The Thursday meditation done by a minister and practitioner at 7. And the Saging Circle is for people 60 and above. This is our elders, our wisdom keepers just coming together and being in support and wisdom for each other. It's a wonderful group. All of the information is on our website and in the newsletter if you need any of that Zoom information or check times or anything like that. Okay, so we've had a staffing change, and this is really an exciting thing. Kat is not with the center any longer, and we have hired Lance Raff as our operations manager. Give it a cheer. This is really great. Lance was our former board president. He's a small business owner. He's got a mind for marketing. He's got a mind for numbers. He has a mind for helping to grow this center into something really, really wonderful. And I myself am thrilled with the idea of working with Lance. We worked very well together as a board president and minister, and I'm looking forward to all the other wonderful things that we can do. So when you see Lance, be sure to give him a congratulations. He starts on December 1st, so that's super exciting, yay! Okay, now, got all the business taken care of. Put that to the side. And we're going to now go into our more sacred portion of the service. This is where we commune with that presence of the divine that is within each of us. So Amy is going to lead us in a chant, and Sabrina will give us our spiritual mind treatment. So I invite you to close your eyes and go within.
Love is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. Love is, I am. Love is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. Love is, I am.
And so right here and right now, I know there is one infinite intelligence, a love essence that is everywhere all the time. It is the fullness of life in all things, in the seen and unseen. And it is right where I am, a golden expression of spirit, breathing its uniqueness through me and as me right here and right now. And in this consciousness of oneness, I know that at the center of my being is this love. It is eternal, unconditional, and infinite. It is so deep and so pristine that no words can ever describe it. And through this crystal clear lens, it is safe for me to experience all parts of me through my happiness and joy, and I love myself through the sadness and tears, knowing that it is all part of my journey, embracing it all and honoring all of me. And with this truth, I now step into my greatness unapologetically. And so, with deep gratitude, I release this truth into the law knowing it is already done, and so there's nothing more to do. I simply let go and allow, affirming together, and so it is.
Love is, I am right here, right now, right here, right now. Love is, I am.
Thank you, Sabrina. Would you stay up? Thank you. You don't have to. Well, yeah, I have to sing pretty soon. Thank you. That was beautiful, both of you. That was just really set the tone. So what we do here every Sunday is to say our vision and our mission statements. It's so important that we continue to say this as we remain a spiritual community. So let's say it together. Let's say it together. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living is a beacon of spiritual illumination that inspires individuals to reveal their wholeness, co-creating a world that works for everyone. And we've been modifying that just a little bit by saying a world that works for all, because that encompasses not just people, but animals, the planet, everything, a world that works for all. I can't change it because we crafted it specifically, but we may be changing it soon. But for right now, it gives me an opportunity to talk about it. And our mission statement, let's say that together. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living makes accessible a way of living and thinking that reveals one's spiritual magnificence and personal power. We co-create an inclusive community that fosters an expansion of consciousness. We're all about consciousness expansion, and we are also all about a way of living and thinking that reveals one's spiritual magnificence and personal power. I always try to send you home or send you away from the service with some tools that you can use so that you can begin to realize your own spiritual magnificence and personal power. Right, thank you. Thank you, my beauty. So we carefully curated this music. So everything fits with the talk. Duh, I mean, it always does, but we actually had, this is a conversation. And which one are you doing? Thank you. Amy's been doing a lot of originals. Do you have, Amy, do you by any chance have a new CD or a new way of sharing music?
You know, it's funny that you ask.
Yes?
There is a new CD. Huh.
There is a new CD?
It has yet to be released, so don't tell anybody. But you can get it from me. And,
Oh, it hasn't been released yet. But if somebody wanted to take one home today,
they should follow me to my car.
they should follow her to her car, because that's just the kind of place we are. Please welcome Elevation with Amy Bishop.
I always wish that I was cooler, that I didn't samba to the beat of my own heart. Like the girls I worshiped back when I was a high schooler, a thinner-thighed, higher cheekbone work of art, constantly worrying what people thought about me, somehow scared that they don't think of me at all. Happy to hover on the outskirts or boundary, just let me hang around, I promise to stay small. But I don't fit inside a box. I'll never fit inside a box. inside a box. Not one size fits all. Oh. Always dreaming to be bolder, brighter, better. 'Cause life is so much easier on the other side. If I could write the 13-year-old me a letter, I'd say love yourself before the best of you has died. And maybe I could open up and show you all my devils, that you really see what lives under this skin. But I'm horrified on way too many levels just to even think of letting someone in. 'Cause I don't fit inside a box. Inside a box. Round, big, square hole. I'm not your average Barbie doll. I don't fit inside a box. Not one size fits all. It's all. Oh.
Elevation with Amy Bishop, Oliver Miguel, Steph Chapman, Luis Tovar, and Lisa Jacobs. We are so blessed. My goodness. Steph, how's Remy doing? Good. Our little science of mind, baby. Steph, could you grab that for me? Thanks, sweetie. I was having a conversation with Stephanie. It's okay. We have a number of science of mind babies that have come about from people who are part of the center. Oh, I'm going backwards. Okay, here we go. I have a story about that, but I'm not going to tell you right now, because we're going to breathe together. Ready? Just taking a deep breath. And again. Before you breathe the next one, well, you can breathe, but before we breathe together in the next one, I want you to imagine that there are another 75 or 100 people who are watching on Lovestream who are also breathing with us right now. So just with that in your mind, let's take it in. Ain't that something? Whew, I like that idea. We are all inspiring together. Inspire. So I've been teaching a foundations class recently online via Zoom, and I have my lovely assistants, Sabrina and Reverend Monica, as part of the class. And it's a small class. I think we have 12 people, all told, fit together. And I had been a little bit concerned about teaching it online because I didn't know if the exercises that are so key to the growth and learning would quite translate online. And I also wasn't sure if the bonding happens when we take these courses together. And I wasn't sure whether the bonding would happen if the students weren't in person. But I'm happy to report to you that with just a few little tweaks, we have been having this absolutely wonderful class. Wouldn't you agree, Sabrina? It's just awesome. The exercises that I wasn't so sure about, they're working wonderfully, and the students are learning great things from them. And the bonding and the caring, even though we're online, has taken place just as naturally as any other course that I've ever taught. Now, of course, we have students from Calgary and the vicinity. That's the majority of them. But we also have a student from Southern California. And she tunes in every Tuesday night at 6:30 our time. And she is every bit as a part of the course as all the rest of us. And this is true for all of our online events that we have going on. We've got the Consciousness Seekers on Monday nights. We've got My Coffee group on Wednesdays. We've got the Sagers group that meets, and we have people who are tuning in from all over. I've got a couple of ladies that tune in from New Jersey, and there's Colorado, and there's Oregon, and there's Puerto Vallarta, and there's Toronto, and the island, and everything. And I got to tell you, I love this. It is super gratifying to me that even though as much as I love teaching and speaking in person, the use of technology to teach and learn virtually is a perfect illustration of the concept of oneness and connection. The idea, just like when we breathe together, the idea that people can come from all over the world and learn together and share together is the perfect metaphor for the idea that we are connected and that unity is in the present moment, and we can influence and we can affect one another even when we're not in the same room. I found this great quote by Serge Kahili King. We are all connected to everyone and everything in the universe. Therefore, everything one does as an individual affects the whole. All thoughts, words, images, prayers, blessings, and deeds are listened to by all that is. Just think about that. I got to turn my fan on. Is it hot in here? Okay. It's just me. I'm actually fairly well respected amongst my colleagues, believe it or not. So, you've all been in a Zoom room, right? So as funny as it seems, this is the format of the Zoom room, and yes, it looks just like the Brady Bunch, but it is the perfect illustration of universal connection. These are not our people. I thought I had a picture of our people. That's random people doing random things. So another example of how technology is serving us is, of course, the Sunday Love Stream. This technology, through you all, supported us for the better part of 2 years during a very, very dark time. And once again, even though we couldn't be in person, we were still able to be a community, a virtual community. And that's not to say I don't love having you all, even though you're making me hot. I love having you all in here. I love it. I do. And I love you all too. I love you. People who join us every Sunday, because we are a community in the literal sense of the word, common unity. We are together. We are one. Now, with all that being said, that's not actually what I want to talk about today. I could talk about how cool technology is, but that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is up-leveling our self-talk. Hence the title, Are You Talking to Me? Are you talking to me? And the reason why I brought up the foundations class, which then got me on my rant about how much I love technology, but the reason is because the students did an exercise real recently, like last week or the week before, in paying attention to self-talk and their limiting languaging. And what they discovered as they tracked their self-talk for a week, they discovered that they talked to themselves in really negative and derogatory ways without even realizing it. I mean, if you're anything like me, I'm better, but I still fall back into it every once in a while. Do you say things to yourself in the quiet of your own minds or even out loud that you would never, ever, ever dream of saying to another person? Ah, Pat, how could you be so stupid? Ah, geez, what a klutz. Looking in the mirror, ugh. And for some reason, we think it's acceptable to talk to ourselves that way. We may even think that it's honest or that we're being humble. But it isn't acceptable under any circumstances and for many reasons. And the most important reason is when you talk to yourself like that, you are talking like that to a divine expression of God. And that is not acceptable. Because what we teach, what we believe is that God, or whatever you choose to call that, is expressing and is living itself through us and as us. So that means that each one of us deserves every bit of love and kindness and acceptance and non-judgment and understanding as anybody else, and we should be giving it to ourselves. Yes? Carl Sagan said, "The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself." That statement makes me weak at my knees. We are a way for the universe to know itself. And Ernest Holmes said this too. He said, "The heartbeat of the universe is at the center of every living soul, and the presence of God within us waits patiently for our recognition." But for some reason, instead of us recognizing that truth and celebrating that truth, our default seems to be self-criticism. Up until now. Say that with me. Up until now. Because we're going to change some things. I found a few little suggestions online, because, you know, I find things online, what can I say? And I hope that when I tell you about them, that it's going to help turn the tide. And you're going to go from self-criticism to self-love. The only trick about this is that you need to practice it. You can't just sit here on Sunday and go, "Oh yeah, that's cool, yeah, I got it." No. We have had, most of us, many of us, some of us, have had years of negative self-talk. So we're not going to turn it around to positive self-talk like that. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes being a little uncomfortable. But you know what they say about my job. My job is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. So you're about to be a little afflicted right now. But we're going to start somewhere, okay? So you ready? Talk to yourself as if you were your best friend. "You rock. I am so proud of you. You deserve the best." I mean, think about how you are when you encourage your friends to live their best life. You support them with enthusiasm and excitement. You want to see them succeed. So imagine how wonderful it would feel to give yourself the same kind of encouragement, the same kind of kudos, to genuinely say to yourself without conceit, wow, you did a really great job on that. You nailed it. I'm proud of you. Yeah? The next one. Talk to yourself as if you were your pet. You are the cutest thing I have ever seen. Now again, that may seem silly, but think about it. Some of us, me probably included, we say the most effusive and loving and caring things to our pets. Every one of my animals knows that they are the cutest, the most darling, the most beautiful girl or boy that ever lived. And other people think that they have cute and darling and beautiful boys, but they don't, because I do. And you know, the animal just accepts it as true, right? Dog wags his tail, and cat's like, duh. So I wonder what would happen if you told yourself, wow, you're really special. Just as you are. You don't need to change anything about you. You are perfect, and I love you. And then maybe scratch yourself behind the ear. I understand this is a stretch. Stick with me, okay? It might seem a little bit silly, but sometimes we have to stretch outside of our comfort zones in order to experience something new. So will you just play? You playing with me? Okay, here's the next one. Talk to yourself as if you were your favorite treat. You are worth every dollar I invest in you. So what's your favorite treat? Is it food? Travel? Favorite adult beverage? Clothes? Is spending time with your family a favorite treat? How about a massage? Yeah? Yeah? A hobby? What happens is you may invest a lot of time and money and energy and focus on your favorite treat, but begrudge the same amount of time, energy, money, and focus in simply loving and appreciating yourself. And granted, maybe some of our treats are for ourselves, usually kind of physical selves. But what about giving that same amount of energy and love to your essence, to your soul? Talk to yourself as if you were a stranger. Would you like me to help you with that? This goes back to the idea that we are generally kinder and nicer to other people, including strangers, than we are to ourselves. We would never say to a stranger, well, what are you, lazy? Just do it yourself. And yet we may be silently saying something like that to ourselves at one time or another. So here's an idea. What if we said to our inner self, how can I help? What do you need? And then listen. And it might simply be that the you needs you to slow down a little bit and to just be. But if you're too busy and you're doing all the stuff to fix the outside or whatever, you may never hear the request unless you ask. What do you need? How can I help? And then listen. The next one. Talk to yourself as if you were a child. I am here for you. You're precious to me. I love you. The reason I wanted to give this talk is because I actually have experience with this tool, and it was life-changing. When I first came into the teaching, it was during the inner child stuff, John Bradshaw and all that other stuff, so this was a while ago. And when I heard about it, and when I heard about nurturing the inner child, it made sense to me. Because there was a part of me that knew that I needed to be nurtured and I needed to be loved into a healthy being. Remember, I'd had a lot of years of alcohol and drug abuse. And here I am, and I knew that that little girl needed some love. And I didn't have abuse and I didn't have neglect in my childhood. I had what most people would consider a happy childhood. But as children sometimes do, because we don't know any different, we make assumptions about ourselves that don't serve us any longer. And my assumption, one of them, was that I wasn't very lovable. And so I took this to heart. And honest to God, I would sit down and there'd be an empty chair across from me. And I would talk to little me. And I would tell her that I loved her, that I was proud of her. I would go for walks around my neighborhood, swear to God, pretending to hold her hand. And I would tell her that she was precious, and would tell her that she was deserving of good things. And yes, in the beginning it felt so silly, but I didn't care because I was determined to heal and grow. And this method made sense to me, and it worked for me. And what happened was I could feel my heart growing, kind of like the Grinch. You know how the Grinch's heart grew? His grew for humanity, mine grew for myself. And it was honestly the most impactful spiritual practice I've ever done. And I may actually start it again. It was, this kind of reminded it, brought it home to me. I have one more story that I want to share with you, and it's about our sweet Rosalie. Rosalie, you've been the star of the show twice in 2 weeks now. You know Rosalie, if you know her, she's so giving, she's so loving, she's cheerful all the time. She makes the toques and leads up that group, and she makes masks for people, and she's just always cheerful and loving. And she told me a story about when she was 3 years old, and she was sitting on her mom's lap at church, and probably fussing a little bit. She was 3, right? And her mom would pinch her cheeks. And she would say to her, Rosie, you are such a beautiful little girl. You're so smart and you're so happy, and I love you so much. And Rosalie said, it was those words that gave me my confidence. And that's why I enjoy life so much. So that type of thing is what we need to be doing for ourselves. You are beautiful, you are smart, you are happy, and I love you so much. And guys, maybe that doesn't work for you. You can modify it to suit you. Dude, you're smart, you're strong, you're capable. You can accomplish anything you want. Take that in. And finally, talk to yourself as if you were the sun. You light up my day and warm my soul. Close your eyes for just a minute and say that to yourself. You light up my day and warm my soul. So there you have it. So I know some people like to take pictures of them, so there's the list. 6 simple tools, not easy, on how to talk to yourself that just may transform your life. So why not try it? Why not? What have you got to lose? But a negative self-talk. What have you got to lose? Either way, to all of you, you are loved. You are precious. You're special. And you are deserving of all good, right here, right now. And yes, I'm talking to you. And so it is. So I'm excited about this next song. This is, Oliver, can you take that? This is a song by Pink. And when I first heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, that is the perfect talk for the center. Amy beautifully learned it. I'm so happy. So please welcome Amy Bishop, Oliver Miguel, Steph Chapman, Louise Tovar, Lisa Jacobs, otherwise known as Elevation.
Made a wrong turn once or twice. Dug my way out, blood and fire. Bad decisions, it's alright. Welcome to my silly life. Mistreated, misplaced, misunderstood. No way, it's all good. It didn't slow me down. Mistaken, always second guessing, underestimated. Look, I'm still around. Pretty, pretty, please, don't you ever feel like you are less than perfect. Pretty, pretty, please, if you ever feel like you are nothing, you are perfect to me. You're so mean when you talk about yourself, you are wrong. Change the voices in your head, make them like you instead. Complicated, look happy you'll make it, filled with so much hatred, such a tired game. It's enough, I've done all I can think of, chased down all my demons, seen you do the same. Pretty, pretty, please, if you ever feel like you are less than perfect. Pretty, pretty, please, don't you ever feel like you are nothing, you are perfect to me. Whole world's scared, so I swallow the fear. The only thing I should be drinking is a nice cold beer, so cool and light. We try too hard. It's a waste of my time. Stop looking at the critics, cause they're everywhere. Don't like my jeans, they don't get my hair. Paint yourself, we do it all the time. Why do I do that? Why do we do that? Pretty, pretty, please, don't you ever feel like you are less than perfect. Pretty, pretty, please, if you ever feel like you are nothing, you are perfect to me. Oh, you're perfect. You're perfect. Like you are nothing, you are perfect to me.
Elevation! Rewrote some songs even. Woohoo! Thanks, guys. That was so perfect. It was perfect. How do you feel? Good? Yeah. Me too. So now we come, I had to remember where we were in the service, for me to talk about how you can support the center. By being here. By being here. Number one, absolute, is by either bums in seats or eyes on screen and letting us know you're here. You know, when you're writing and making comments and stuff, we love them. We read them every Sunday afternoon. That's my joy and entertainment. Sunday afternoon is to read the comments. So only say nice things, and we really, really appreciate that. We also appreciate financial support, of course, because even in the midst of everything, we've kept going. We've kept lights on. We've kept the band paid. We've kept everything going. And it's so very important that we're able to do that so that we can spread this message in a world that so needs it. And so if you are able to support and show appreciation for what we do here, here on Sunday, we'll take up a collection in person, but also if you're online, send an e-transfer. Go through our website to PayPal. You can send a check. You can call the office, and we can take your information and run it through our credit card machine. You can join the Conscious Commitment, where it just comes out automatically. So there's lots and lots of ways to support the center. And so I'm going to ask my two beauties right there, my two practitioner beauties, Connie and Sabrina, to be our collectors. Do you guys dress alike on purpose? No? Well, I guess not so much. All I'm seeing is, the black outfit. So this is our time. If you have an envelope to fill out, make sure you put your information on it. We love to see your email address. It's always super helpful. And hold it to your heart. And they're at home. Hold it to your heart. Let's say this together. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. Say this with a lot of enthusiasm. I am so blessed. And so it is, and so it is. And we're going to sing I Thank Love, so let's do that. I thank love for everything. 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 All righty, so we're going to do our closing blessing. So we're going to continue to send that good juju and that good love to BC and down to the States. And if there's anybody that you know who needs it, we're going to send that love right on out to them. So get it going on a count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Love you, and so it is.
Might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that will go to space with the air like 'cause I clap along if you feel happiness is the truth. Hey, 'cause I clap along if you know happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel that's what you wanna do. Got bad news, talking this and that. Yeah, give it all you got and don't hold back. Yeah, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. Yeah, no offense to you, but don't waste your time. Tell 'em why. Here's why, because clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. 'Cause I clap along if you feel happiness is the truth. Yeah, 'cause I clap along if you know happiness is to you. 'Cause I clap along if you feel that's what you wanna do. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down. My level's too high. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down, because I clap along if you feel. Clap along if you feel. Clap along if you feel. Clap along, 'cause I clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel happiness is the truth. Because I clap along if you know happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel that's what you wanna do.
Every time. I don't know why.